Pete, a bowler down in as many Test matches for you. Bit of hard work ahead.
Yeah, I think so, but probably lucky enough we got Shane, who's obviously different to Adelaide, so it's just a matter of just going about our job and getting the business done. And yeah, we're lucky enough today after lunch that all the bowlers dug in and got the job in the way we wanted to do it, and got the results.
What is the latest on Ben?
Yeah, Ben's got a side injury, so he's got almost a typical fast bowler's injury where they get these little side strains. So it's not too bad at the moment, but it's bad enough for him not to be able to take the field, and we'll see what he's like tomorrow in terms of what participation he's going to have in this game. But it's looking doubtful whether he'll be able to bowl in the rest of the game.
Pete, how frustrating was it for Australia? I mean, when this partnership was going between Dilshan and Matthews.
Oh, I don't think it's frustrating. I think it's common in Test match cricket. There's partnerships throughout matches, and that's the fun of it, and that's the challenge. And we just knew that we just had to be patient and bowl our right areas. I think this morning we started off a bit slow and probably leaked a little bit the more runs than we would have liked. But I think after lunch, the way we came out and attacked and bowled the way we wanted to, bowled our partnerships, we got our maidens and built the pressure. I think we got the rewards that were warranted, I think, for the performance that we put in after lunch.
Yeah.
Pete, what was it you think that allowed you to sort of basically fix them up there at the end and knock them over all pretty quickly after such a big struggle?
I think just that. I think the pressure that we built up, I don't know exactly the maidens and stuff that we built straight after lunch, but I remember, I think I was into my 6th over and I'd only bowled the Dilshan, so I hadn't even got a chance at Angelo, and no runs were getting scored. So I think that kind of stuff, and that plays on batters' minds. They still want the runs to be ticking over. They still want to be getting like changing ends, rotating the strike. So I think to build that pressure, and I think we're doing that from both ends. We got the rewards. The wicket, it's a little bit up and down, and I think once we bowled that straighter line and built the pressure, that it made it hard to score, and then it gave us those options of LB and obviously the catches.
Nerily?
I think you had a few maidens in a row for a while there, and to finally get the breakthrough and then the fifer. Can you just tell us what it means? Yeah, I think it's just that reward that we always talk about it, and like I'm the lucky one today, I guess. I got the fifer, but there's obviously plenty of work goes into it, and I think it was all the pressure that all the bowlers built up in that time. I was the lucky one today. It could be any one of the other three in the next innings, but. It's just that's the stuff that we talk about. That's the stuff we want to do. That's how we want to go about our Test cricket. And to see it happen after lunch and the way it happened, I think that's it's a big positive going forward. And we two different setups, like scenarios, I guess. Before lunch, we knew we weren't doing the right things, and it showed with where we're at. But after lunch, we got to the plans and executed everything we wanted to, and it showed what the results we can get from that.
Peter, how do you reckon this wicket is going to play over the next 2 days? Australia has got something like 140 ahead. Does it mean that you can, press home the advantage? Yeah, obviously it's an advantage. It doesn't matter what kind of wicket you're on. It's always an advantage to go in with a bit of a lead. But I think it's plays pretty similar in how it's been the last couple of days. It's obviously a bit of variable bounce and hard work to score if the bowlers bowl in the right areas. And I think that's how it's going to play out. There was a bit of spin there, so that could come into it in the next couple of days. But I think it's just about pressing forward tomorrow. Obviously, it's going to be hard to start tomorrow morning, the batters, and they'll dig in, and we just got to play it from there. See how we go, see how many runs we can get to, work out what target we want to go with. But it's still plenty of time in the game left. Hopefully, the rain stays away, and we can get a good match of it. And I think it's going to be a tight finish at the end. That's for sure.
Pete, I know you would have loved to be there for Perth, obviously, but do you think sitting that test out has left you, freshened you up for this test and not pushed you to breaking point, perhaps? Yeah, definitely, and that's the thing. I spoke about it a lot, and you never want to miss matches like that. But when you think about it, I could have gone into that match, I could have broken down in 10 overs, and I'm missing 7-8 weeks. So that doesn't do myself any good. It doesn't do the team any good. And in such a big game like that, you can't have those situations happening. And so it's obviously I did the right thing by the team, and I was disappointed that I missed, but I know that obviously today coming back feeling fresh and getting the reward like that, I know it backs up the decision I made, and it was all the right things. Yeah, disappointed we lost in Perth, but
obviously we got a lot of things coming up in the next 12 months, and I think it's put me in a good place, and I'm feeling good, and hopefully there's still plenty more test matches obviously for us to win.
Yeah.
Alex, in simple terms, what needs to change for fast bowlers to break down a little less often?
I wish it was a simple answer. There's not one reason why guys are breaking down. Obviously, we've got 19-year-olds who haven't played one first-class game breaking down, and we've got 30-year-olds who have been playing for 5 months. So the reasons why players break down is all different. It's obviously not ideal. We've got more injuries than we'd like to have at the moment. It's not perfect, but we're working really hard to try to come up with solutions. The landscape's changed, the way the schedule is and stuff like that. But we've got to get better at managing that, and for us, it's relatively new, and we're trying to work around that at the moment.
How difficult is the whole the jump from say 2020 to Test cricket in particular, as from a physio's perspective?
It's a challenge, but it's not obviously undoable. So we just got to get better at doing it. We've put a lot of processes in place. Like we had bowlers try to bowl during the Champions League, and we did that. And Mitchell Stark as an example, he did that, and he's here. And also Ben Hilfenhaus did it. So we're putting processes in place. We're doing things differently this year to last year, trying to make things happen. And we're winning in some areas and we're not winning in other areas. But it's we're going to keep evolving and trying to work out the best solution for it.
Greg.
Alex, just with Hilfy going down and the pitch isn't taking an awful lot of spin, the likelihood would be that Watto is going to have to play a prominent role with the ball in the fourth innings. Would you and the support staff be involved in setting any kind of parameters, or are there any limits on Watto, or you got complete confidence that he can step up and be a frontline pace bowler for the fourth innings?
Yeah, there's absolutely no limits to what Watto bowls in the game. Once he plays the game, it's up to the captain to decide how much he bowls, when he bowls. We put plays in the game to play the game, and if Mike Hussey has to bowl, he'll bowl, and if Shane Watson needs to bowl 25 overs, he'll do that. And he's been getting through his recovery and his rehab over the last sort of 6 weeks for this purpose. So he missed the Adelaide Test match because he wasn't 100% fit to do this in particular, to bowl as the captain needed him to. So there's no restrictions on him now.
Alex, how does the side strain that Hilfy's got compare with what James Pattinson had in Adelaide, given that he sort of looks like missing the whole Test summer basically?
Yeah, they're completely different injuries. So I call them side strains only because they're in the same region, but they're both completely different injuries. I haven't got enough information about Ben's scans at the moment, but it doesn't look to be that bad. It's on the milder side, I would imagine, but obviously not mild enough to be able to bowl in the second innings. And these sort of things, if you miss a week, then you miss 2 weeks, because by the time they're not like batsmen who, in a week's time they're ready to play, they can get back and play straight away. Bowlers have to come back, bowl a few times, prove that they're fit, make sure they've got through some sessions, because we obviously can't put them in a test match with any doubt. So yeah, it's not, to answer your question, it's probably not as bad as James, but we need to sort of wait 24 hours to make that decision.
Right.
Pete, you mentioned at lunchtime you knew you had to change things as a bowling unit. Who leads those discussions? Is that the bowlers? Is that the skipper? Is it the coaching staff? Where's that come from?
I think it's just a joint decision. As bowlers, you come off and know that if things haven't gone right, and you know that you weren't executing properly, that things have got to change. So it's a bit of a chat between us, obviously Ali DeWinter, the bowling coach as well, and the coaching staff. They sit up there watching ball by ball, so they understand what's going on. So it's everyone's involved, and it doesn't matter if it's the captain. It could be Mike Hussey or Matthew Wade, who obviously he's the one catching them behind the stumps. It doesn't matter. It's a team game. We're open to anyone's obviously suggestions and input, and yeah, it's just we just as bowlers knew personally though that we had to improve and do something to obviously get those results, and we went about the business, and it paid off in the end.
Andrew?
Alex, a double barrel question. Firstly on Ben, is he a dad at all for Boxing Day, and also with James? I think he said last night that he's going to start bowling again soon. Is he any chance of playing again this summer?
With Ben, probably no more in 24 hours, but it's probably doubtful. The fact that he's not bowling right now, you'd think there's going to be considerable doubt, but we have got a bit of a gap in between. The next 24 hours will probably answer that question. When it comes to James, he hasn't bowled yet. He's going to start bowling next week or this week sometime, but I don't think he's got enough going to have enough time to build up his workloads enough to be able to play Boxing Day for sure, and probably the New Year's Test. So the original plan with him was not to play those tests, and it's probably looking like that's what's going to happen.